Hello, this is the Carb Charge team presenting the nature-based charging powered by Shell solution. So Mr. Edmund Holgates, principal at the Shell Game Changer Innovation Partnership Incubator. The team is here tonight presenting to Edmund. Hello, Edmund. Nice to meet you. So as vehicles continue to demand more energy, as you know, it will be increasingly important to ensure that more vehicles are powered by renewable resources. So and using as an analogy, in the United States, the EPA estimates that the transportation sector accounted for approximately 29% of greenhouse gas emissions in 2020. So 57 of those greenhouse gas emissions came from passenger cars. The problem. So the combined effect of vehicle electrification and adaptation of renewable power sources in place of carbon emitting resources would have a profound impact on reducing emissions. Also, the impact of a close to emission free power grid and the widespread adoption of EVs would result in a staggering 90% decline in emissions from light duty vehicles. The total potential benefits of EVs, therefore, depends on the sources of power used to charge them fundamentally. So, if drivers are helping reduce tailpipe emissions by choosing to drive EVs instead of traditional gas-fueled vehicles and at the same time generating carbon credits from choosing to charge at a renewable energy-fueled EV charger, then the energy they charge their EVs with should be discounted from the cash generated by selling those carbon credits in the voluntary carbon markets. This revenue from our certified renewable energy fuel chargers reinvested back to the consumer would allow Shell to supply the cheapest and cleanest energy worldwide. Welcome to the future of EV charging with Shell's first nature-based charging solution. Rachel, take us through the problem.
Hi, Edmund. I'm Rachel. So I'm talking about the opportunity description. First, on energy pricing, since 2020, oil prices have doubled and electricity prices have almost tripled. The investment in the upstream sector have declined yearly by 20% in average since 2012, according to the International Energy Agency. Those prices in all stations will remain high in the coming year, as well as electricity prices. Electric vehicle powered by renewable is the most sustainable solution for energy transition and mobility. And with Carb Charge by Shell, we trust that it could be also the cheapest. In terms of regulation and funding, we have seen that most governments in OECD countries have embraced this change and are pushing hard to switch its fossil fuel car to electric vehicle. In the European Union, they are aiming to be carbon neutral by 2050, with majority of electric vehicle by 2030. A plan of 750 billion euro has been launched to tackle this change. But still, electric vehicles remain expensive to acquire and renewable electricity are not always accessible. With Carb Charge powered by Shell, we have the opportunity to bring renewable energy to electric vehicle at lower price. At actual carbon credit price, we estimate that the electric vehicle charger can be financed by 30% for 12-year use and lower the price of electricity to user by 25% minimum. Next slide, please. And we have seen also it's a huge potential. Our short-term target is to equip first the 550,000 Shell oil stations worldwide with our renewable EV charger sponsored by carbon credits. But imagine if we expand this business model to other gas stations around the world, parking, malls, and shops. The global electric vehicle market size is projected to reach 150 million units in 2030, with an annual growth of 20%. The electric vehicle market size is expected to grow by 1 trillion by this date, which is 200,000 million as of today only, as we can see on the chart. We can go on the next slide, and my colleague Omar will describe the business model and key assumptions.
By establishing over 500,000 charge stations at over 55,000 filling stations worldwide by 2030, the Carb Charge business model intends to meet the specific needs of businesses and customers in the rapidly growing electric car industry. With Carb Charge, you'll have access to regular and rapid charging stations that can supply up to 350,000 kilowatts of power. Shell plans to monetize the Carb Charge electric vehicle charging services at all of its charging locations. Customers that charge their electric vehicles at a Shell's charging station will be eligible for payback programs via Carb Charge, where they will be compensated in the form of carbon credits. Moving on to the next slide.
With the carb charge, Shell is able to lower its Scope 3 GHG emissions by tackling emissions produced by our products. In that initiative, we'll be able to actually display the GHGs avoided, GHGs incurred, and reductions over time.
So Shell's success in lowering Scope 3 emission, and with our experienced team in this industry, we have discovered several risk factors associated with this. First, credibility challenges due to perceived greenwashing or green investment. On that, I would like to share that even businesses with the best of climate intentions can accidentally find themselves engaging in greenwashing after they measure their carbon emission with less than comprehensive methods. To mitigate that, Shell's carb charge initiatives would benefit from the vetted carbon emission accounting methodologies to not inadvertently incur in greenwashing. Second, the requirements for the third-party and independent validators of Shell's KPIs. For this risk, the third-party industry groups would help Shell with the adoption of the industry and regulatory validated KPIs for their assessment and comparison across organizations in the same sectors and regions to properly account for short and medium-term and long-term GHG reduction targets. The third risk here, the customer buy-in and fossil fuel to EV vehicles conversion rate to show GHG avoided, GHG reduced, and GHG incurred. To that, the customer loyalty program, Shell's Go Plus, could be a source of voluntary information, the type of vehicle, number of kilometers, and so on. Gathering these information from its customer base to strategically target, redefine the loyalty program objective with the aim to show customers the benefit to themselves and to the society in the long run.
Thank you very much. At 500,000 stations, we can definitely make a difference. Thank you and invest in us.